Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I have got a good one today. Today I'm going to be talking all about eyeshadow palettes and my favorite thing personally. So if you like eyeshadow palettes, then please make sure you are subscribed to my channel before leaving today, and let's just hang out and get into it. I absolutely adore eyeshadow palettes, so give me any and every excuse to talk about them and you know I'll do it. So for today I will be picking my top 3 favorite palettes in each category. The categories were created from Angelica. She is the original creator of this video. I saw this video kind of popping up here and there, so I definitely wanted to do my own. So with that being said, let's jump into the first category, and that is your top 3 favorite neutral palettes. And I'm just like, I love neutral makeup. I love neutral eyeshadow palettes. So this one was so easy, and I have to start off with like number 1, tippity top, my absolute holy grail neutral palette, and this one is from Glaminatrix. This is the Nearly Natural palette. I love this, guys. I'm in love with this color story. Right here, it's literally perfect. You have your everyday soft tones. You have like your deepening shades. I like the overall, like there's different tones in here. My mom, it was so funny. She dropped this palette and it shattered like a few of these shades. Actually, every single shimmer she managed to shatter, and I was like, no, but thankfully I repressed them and I saved it, so that's why it looks a little rough around the edges, but I don't care. I still love it and I'm going to use it forever. It's just so beautiful. So this is just one in my collection where without a doubt I knew that this is my absolute favorite neutral palette. It just, the shimmers in here, they have such a beautiful sparkle, and the matte formula from Glaminatrix is one of my favorites. Now the next two are from Natasha Denona. I'm going to start off with like the OG. This is the gold palette right here. I feel like if you have this palette in your collection, this is like almost automatically one of your favorite neutral palettes in a way. It's beautiful, beautiful brown tones, warm tones with these gorgeous teal pops. Are you kidding me? Without a doubt, kind of like the Glaminatrix, these two were like tippity top. I knew exactly which category these were going to fall under. And then I have a new one. This is the I Need a Nude palette. Did I need this? No, but I got it, and I'm not mad about it. It's boring as you get, but it's so beautiful, and it's almost like a timeless, beautiful palette in a way where you can wear this. It doesn't matter which year, what, I don't know, event or whatever you're doing in your day-to-day life. If you want to go on a date night or just like run errands, this palette has got you covered. So without a doubt, this one has quickly risen to the top for me. Is the formula something to rave about? No, but it's just effortless and beautiful, and it just has a very luxurious quality if you're used to luxe eyeshadows. That's kind of what I would categorize that formulation to be. So next, I believe this is, the next category is a rainbow palette. So let me just make sure. Yeah, so if you are familiar with my channel, typically I'm not always wearing rainbow colors. I don't have many rainbow palettes in my collection, so I only have 2 to mention for this one. But first, I had to mention, it's not like technically like Roy G. Biv, I don't know, but these are very colorful palettes in a way. So this is the Nomad palette, the Paradise Islands, and this is more like pastel leaning, but for me, it's not too pastel. Like, I could just make this a rainbow palette. I absolutely love it. I've had it for so long, and the quality is still really nice. So I'm definitely like, this is one of the most colorful palettes I have in my collection. And I've always enjoyed it, especially like I took it on vacation, so now I just have like good memories with this palette. Next, this is newer to me, and this is the Best Mattes palette. This is from Bella Beauté Bar in collaboration with Ellie Starr and Brittany Huffman. I originally bought this palette because I lacked color in my collection. I needed a staple palette with all the different shades that I could just pop into whenever I needed like a bold red or green or like whatever. I rearranged this, and there are a few shades missing because I do, let me see, where did it go? Okay, I created like my own custom fall palette. So a few of the shades are in here because I love mixing and matching my own shades. So just ignore the few that are not in here, but I love this quality. They have a beautiful matte formulation, which is why I decided this would be like my perfect rainbow palette. That way I can mix and match different shimmers in here and create my own color story. So these are my 2 colorful palettes in my collection, I would say. The next category, it is monochromatic palettes. I typically do not purchase a lot of monochromatic palettes. I don't reach for them, I've learned. So throughout all my declutters, I don't have like I would say like an ideal all green, all blue, all, you know what I'm saying? So these, I kind of had to like lean with it a little bit. It's not exactly monochromatic, but I would consider these monochromatic. Let me first start off with Natasha Denona, and this is the Yucca palette. So overall, all the looks that I create tend to be very similar, which is why I put it in this category. I love this palette so, so much, and for me, this is the perfect monochromatic color story for me. I love greens, I love neutrals, and that is going to be a common theme with the next two palettes. So this one right here is from Odin's Eye. This is the Stone and Rock palette. This one just blew me away to no end. The shimmers are very sparkly. They have a very thin formula, but it's still pigmented on the eye. Some of mine have a little bit of a hard press in there, but I still get nice payoff. But the color story, it's so beautiful. And I know I have so many greens in my collection, but I can't really dupe this because they're so special, and like the tones, I love it. The greens with the neutrals, I'm telling you, that's just like my weakness. So definitely these two, without a doubt, were my top monochromatic palettes. Now this one, I don't know if you would consider it monochromatic, but for me, I did. This is the Adept Arrow inspired palette, and they're actually bringing this back. So definitely make sure you follow them on Instagram if you want to get this one, because it was like, it was here and then it was gone. And it was very in and out. So, and this is a very good formula. But yeah, for me, this is a very beautiful greeny blue color story with some neutrals in there. I like how you can make it grungy. There's a little bit of versatility, but for me, this was overall, like, I get very similar looks whenever I reach for this palette. So I wanted to categorize it with these other two right here. So these right here are my monochromatic category. And next, this is going to be your small palettes, your mini palettes. And it was so hard to only pick 3 favorites, but I managed. It's kind of funny because typically I do not like mini palettes. Throughout the years, my declutters, I have come to realize I do not need to purchase mini palettes. So, which is so funny because I just purchased one. This one is very new to my collection. This is the Natasha Denona, the Mini Nude palette. This was recently on sale for $13, and I couldn't pass it up. It came with a brush. I've wanted this as long as I have like pretty much been into makeup. Once this came out, I wanted it. And the quality is amazing. I love their color story. This is me, you know what I'm saying? So definitely, it's one of my favorite minis. But it is new, so I just wanted to make that known. But I already know this is going to be in my collection until I use it up. Next, from Natasha Denona, is this the gold palette? Yeah, Mini Gold. I love greens and neutrals, sorry, but it is what it is. And this one right here, I reach for it. And typically with mini palettes, like I said, I don't reach for them a lot. I don't gravitate towards them a lot. It's really hard whenever I have so many palettes like this in my collection, you know? So, but these are a few minis that I do reach for, and like the greens. But honestly, this is pretty versatile. Like, you can get a smoky look with this. So yeah, I knew without a doubt this one out of all of them, no, I lied. There are 2 in this category. I'm about to mention that. It's just like I knew this was like my favorite mini without a doubt. And it was so funny because I thought this was gone. Like, I thought it was discontinued, and I found it. I'm so, so happy. I'm not too sure if that's available anymore. But my last palette in this category for mini, this is from Pat McGrath Labs. This is the Venus in Fleur palette. Yes, and my palette looks really bad. Did I clean it? Yay, I cleaned it. It doesn't look too bad. So right here, this was the first time I ever tried Pat McGrath Labs, and this shade in particular, it's a beautiful duochrome. Like, I would say like a rosy gold. It just shifts so pretty. So maybe you could see how it's pink, and then in the mirror it's almost like a gold. It's absolutely beautiful, and this was like my first shifty shade, I would say. It has beautiful sparkles in here, so this one really knocked my socks off. And I took this on vacation, and I just have such good memories with it. I know that seems silly, but I have lots of memories with different palettes, and this is one where I'll just never forget the fun times that I had. And also, I do love reaching into this. I need to reach for it more, but it's so special. So if I could only pick 3, without a doubt, this one would have to be in my collection forever. It's so beautiful, and I cannot, like, I remember trying to like build up the strength to like purchase this palette because it was so expensive for just like a 4-pan palette, but no regrets because I absolutely love it. And it made me kind of start falling in love with Pat McGrath, which is kind of funny because now I'm kind of falling out of love with Pat McGrath. But I do have some of her staple palettes in my collection, so going forward, I hope we see exciting things from the brand, especially with holiday season, to kind of, I don't know, make my heart flutter again whenever I think about Pat McGrath. So next, this is the affordable drugstore category, and I'm kind of an eyeshadow palette snob. I will admit that without a doubt. I know it. I'm not here to deny it. I would say, yeah, 99.9% of my collection is high-end or luxury. So I did not want to pick three just to pick three. I only have one to mention. I do have some ColourPop palettes, things like that. But honestly, this one right here, this is from Cosmic Brushes. You can't get this at the drugstore. You can only get this, I'm not too sure, but definitely on the Cosmic Brushes website. This is a Muse palette. I think it's 20 something dollars after shipping for where I am. You can use discount codes with it. I love this color story, but the formulation, this is the one I would recommend. This is my favorite drugstore price, I would say, even though you can't get it at the drugstore, but it's still affordable when it comes to indie makeup. This is the one that has my heart. It's crazy that the formula is this good and the price point is so low compared to what other indie brands charge. I hope that we always see this low price point. And like, I don't need multi-chromes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stick with this because it's beautiful. I don't want them to change and kind of steer into multi-chromes, because then that price point is going to jump up and be 50, 60, 70. Now people are charging 80 and up. So I just love it. They definitely have some magic with this price point and formulation. Definitely my favorite affordable brand, I would say, when it comes to eyeshadow palette formulation. Next, let's see. Sorry, my throat's hurt. I feel like I'm starting to get sick, and it's like right when you know, like, you're starting to feel bad and you're like, oh man, it's about to hit me like a wall. That's where I'm at right now. Next, it's the high-end and luxury. So I don't buy a lot of luxury makeup. I would say when it comes to luxury, it's like really, almost that $100 mark. I would say that the only two brands that I have ever spent, no, yes, the only two brands I've ever spent that much was on an Adept palette, Natasha Denona, and then all of my Pat McGrath palettes, I got them on sale, but the original price point's so high. So I'm going to be mentioning Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona for the luxurious category, and I would have to, this one right here, this is the most expensive palette I have in my collection. This is the Metropolis palette. I wanted this for so long, and then let's see, Sephora, they were having their VIB sale a few years ago, and I wanted this, but I had to wait until payday, and I went to check out, and it sold out, and it was like discontinued. You couldn't get it anymore. And then I would say a year or two later, this came back on her website, and I just bought it like blindly. I was like, I need it. I've wanted it for years, so I'm super happy that I do have this in my collection. I do not reach for it all the time, but the formula is amazing. The color story is beautiful with all these earthy tones. So out of all the palettes in my collection, this one was the most expensive, but I'll treasure it forever. And it's also magnetic. I do like that about Natasha Denona palettes. Next are two from Pat McGrath Labs, and this is the, I'm not too sure, no, that's not the palette that I wanted to mention. Where is it? Is this it? This is the Bronze Seduction palette. I love this color story so much. Every time I wear this, I just feel like a bronze goddess. It looks so beautiful. I love these tones, and I love these beautiful, what are these? They're not like glitters. They're just lovely sparkles in here. They're amazing, and I just love this quality. It's so special to me. And now let me get Utopian Dream. I thought that I had that one, but I accidentally got the wrong one. But this was my first mothership I ever bought from her. I got it on a really good sale. But this one, it's just always going to have a special place in my heart. And I love the formula. I love the color story. It's so fun and beautiful. This was my first multi-chrome I would ever say. Yeah, I'm pretty sure first multi-chrome. Yeah, it just blew me away. I was like, what is this magic? I want all of it, which led me down a path to no return. But yeah, I love this color story, and I'm hopeful for Pat McGrath because, as you see, I love her brand. I love her palettes. I want to see some exciting color stories for everybody. Let's see. Next, what is the last? Are we at the last category? Sparkle and Shimmer shades. So I picked out 3 palettes that are full of beautiful shimmer shades. Do I reach for them all the time? No, because I typically don't reach for all shimmer palettes, but these three I'm about to mention have my heart. So this is the Adept Seahorse palette. I had to kind of grow to love this because the formula is not exactly what I'm used to. It's more of iridescent toppers. Shifty, beautiful. A few of the shades are too similar, but it's beautiful. Like, I use this a lot in like the inner corner or for just like a topper shade. I cannot help but just love this palette. I love the beautiful packaging, no complaints as far as formula goes. It's just something that I had to get used to and kind of get used to the different textures, but I do really enjoy it. And I would say that some of them are even more like wearable in a way. They don't, and like I would say, make my lids have lots of texture. Some of them are very smooth. So yeah, no regrets. At first I regretted it, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is too expensive, but in the end I'm actually very happy that I did end up picking that one up. Next, I'm saving the best for last, but these are from Devinah Cosmetics. This one is a Sea of Shadows. It's beautiful, full of duochrome sparkle shades. They're just absolutely amazing, and I love them. Now, some of these are too like blue for me, but I can make it work. I just typically don't reach for too many blues, but honestly, I'm starting to like tiptoe, feel more comfortable in those type of colors on me. But this one's so beautiful. Devinah has such a beautiful formulation. I would say like the one thing I love about her brand, it's so consistent. I've tried several formula, or not formulas, several eyeshadows, and they're all consistent, amazing, beautiful, shifty, sparkle. But my absolute favorite, this is Mystic Cove. These 9 shadows are just magical, incredible. I think, yeah, I bought 3 of these myself and the other 6 were gifted to me in PR. I did buy the palettes, and in this palette, 2 of the shades I bought myself, and then the rest were gifted in PR. So I did want to make that known also, because I didn't drop like a stack on these, you know what I'm saying? But essentially, I had to mention, like, this was the one, whenever I saw this category, I was like, Mystic Cove has my heart. And I love the packaging. I love that she created these palettes. Aren't they beautiful? Like the mermaid palettes. Oh, I just cannot get enough. Now, I believe that the last category is, let's see, pastel palettes. So I typically haven't tried too many pastel palettes, so take that with a grain of salt. I picked out my favorites in my collection, but I'm not like, I don't know, professional when it comes to pastels. But I'm going to pick my most unique pastel palette first. And this is from Natasha Denona. This is a Trio Chrome palette. I did not know I needed this. So this is like pastels with a twist. The undertones are so unique. I did not pay full price for this. I just wanted to make that known. I got it during a Black Friday sale, like with a bundle. But I'm so glad that I have it. The shimmer is like meh, but the mattes, they're beautiful and so unique to my collection. So this is like pastels with a twist, with a hint of grunge that I absolutely love. So this is just so unique to my collection when it comes to pastels. And I haven't seen too many brands create magic like that when it comes to pastels with just such a unique undertone and grunge to it. Next, I wanted to mention probably the one that's most special to me. This is the Pastel Garden palette, and this is what the inside looks like right here. I mean, large, I know, and very similar shades, but they're a little different. Each of them are in like undertones. I love it. I do not own a lot of pastel palettes, so for me, this is absolutely perfect. I need one pastel palette that I can dip into all spring or all summer. And yeah, they have me covered with every shade possible. And for one reason, I was going to share. I don't know. But anyways, I'm just going to share it. So my brother passed away, and his favorite flower was a hydrangea. So whenever I saw this palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if one of the shade names is hydrangea. And it was. I was like, oh. But specifically, his favorite color was blue. The blue hydrangeas. And I didn't even know that they were going to make this palette blue. It just shipped to me and it was blue. I was like, so it kind of just like really, I don't know, was near and dear to my heart, because I typically remember this palette being like a pinkish purple, like lavender shade. And when this showed up, it was blue. I was like, Okay, that was just extra special to me. So every time I look at this palette, I think of my brother and I just want to reach for it. It makes me so, so happy. I love reaching into this. Even like right now, I'm into like the grungy tones for fall, but I still love a pastel pop and I still find myself reaching for this palette for the beautiful pastel shades in here for inner corner. But I just wish I had that last spring, but I'm glad that I waited because I got the blue palette and it just makes me so happy. So the last pastel palette that I want to talk about, this is, it's huge. I found out that I'm starting to like larger palettes, and most of the time I don't. Like if it's a large palette, I'm like, get it out of here, I don't want it. But Bella Beauty Bar and Give Me Glow, I can make an exception for them. But this is the Pastel Dreams palette and it's very light. I prefer the Bella Beauty Bar formula over these mattes, but still these are beautiful. Give Me Glow has more of a dry formula, but not in a bad way. It's just something that you have to get used to. But I have so many of this brand, like I have so many of their palettes. I don't even know anymore. Probably close to 10. I love them so much. So this formula, it was nothing new. I knew it was just going to be like this beautiful pigmented. And honestly, I love using these shades as blush as well. So it just all worked out. I love the tones in here. The shimmers are nice. And Lavender Sky, I love it so much. So without a doubt, I'm like becoming a pastel lover. I didn't even know. But yeah, I have these 3 pastel palettes that I absolutely love. And that's so funny because I never would have thought I would buy, let alone love pastel palettes. And also, like an honorable mention, Simply Posh has an amazing pastel palette as well. But it's got some darker tones in there, so I didn't include it in this video, but just know I love that one as well. But yeah, anyways, let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure those are all of the categories for today's video. Yes, I will list this in the description box in case you want to create this video or maybe do a reel with it or just share in the comments your top favorites in each category. It was so fun pulling out these palettes, and I've been sitting on this video for probably a week or two. I just wanted to make sure that all the palettes were exactly where I wanted them. So with that being said, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know down below some of your top picks, but wherever you are in the world, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you are healthy, happy, and safe. Stay beautiful. Bye, guys.